What's up, everybody? In today's video, we're going to show you how to stop Michael Vick in Madden Ultimate Team. He's everywhere. He's breaking down defenses, and we're going to show you how to shut it all down. So let's jump right into the question. Now, this one came over from YouTube. If you like this style of video, drop more questions and we'll break them down. But Michael Vick is definitely trouble in MUT. He's all over the place. He's left-handed, and he's got speed, especially when you get up to that 87 version or better, he can really throw the ball. So what can you do? Well, this is a standard setup, man coverage, no contain. So we're going to show you what he can actually do. So you play too much man-to-man coverage, people can kind of clear out one side of the field. They can kind of get patient. They can roll out, pretty much just wait for everything to clear out and then take off. And that is what a lot of people will do with Michael Vick. They'll try and break you down that way. So I recommend zone coverage first, but I also recommend some new buttons and controls. This is going to start as a beginner control style video, and it's going to go into a little bit of advanced meta of what you might actually see as you play online. So first things first, the most simple thing you can do, left trigger, RB on defense. Now that's going to contain. I made a video earlier, and actually it was on rookie, and the defenders weren't breaking off, and I was like, wow, contain stinks this year. But once I put it back up to all pro, all Madden, watch what contains do. Snap of the ball. Same setup as before. That's play we just ran. I try and break out. Boom. Dante Fowler. He's there. He hit sticks Michael Vick nearly every time. Now, that is the first single, simplest, easiest thing you can do to stop Michael Vick. But I'm going to give you a couple more things because it's not the only way, and people are smart nowadays, and they will make plays. So the first thing the offensive guy is going to do, who has a Vick, he's going to look at the snap of the ball, and he's going to say, did my opponent contain before the snap? Or did he even call a play that has contain built in? And it is super easy to tell the second snap of the ball that your opponent contained. So I would never actually roll out against Dante Fowler. Now, if I wasn't good, I might. And I like to contain because even players who just don't even have a mobile quarterback but just drop back too far, or they take like 2 steps to the left, they will get these instant sacks because the second Vick goes to break the pocket, these guys break off every single time. Now, they're never going to step up and get you in the pocket, but that is the easiest thing you can do. So it becomes a meta, it becomes a, like at the snap of the ball, is my opponent containing, is he not containing? And that's the simple, most easiest thing you can do. But what happens when you start to contain? Well, a couple things. The second I now see that you're containing, I can just simply wait with my Vick, or trigger, go up the middle. Obviously, I'm not usering because I'm running, but I can then take it off up the middle for a big gain. And I know you're not going to rush inside. You're not going to shed your D-end inside. You chose to contain. You got that wide rush, but it creates a huge B-gap hole. Now, B-gap hole, much more preferable to the outside. The outside, they buy time. They can throw. They can do a lot of things. Inside of the pocket, very muddy. Very muddy, hard to control the quarterback, hard to get going. You run it back to your lineman. There's a user there. Like, you want him to go up the middle at the end of the day. And as long as they're picking up only a couple yards, it's not a big deal. Now, I understand it can definitely be frustrating. It's 3rd and 4, and you let up like a little Vick scramble. Yeah, it's frustrating, but you got to let them take that. They're sacrificing some QB accuracy for that opportunity to get after Michael Vick. So what you can do is you can contain. Then you can actually say, take this blitzing linebacker, and you can quarterback spy him. So that's going to make him drop to the middle of the field, so you have QB contain, and now you have the spy to go along with that. Once he goes, boom, he's going to follow Michael Vick, and you see how muddy it gets, and then he's kind of standing there waiting for him. So you don't have to user him, but he'll just drop and play the quarterback spy in the middle of the defense. So that is one option. Now, that sacrifices, you kind of now have 3 players, though, devoted to stopping Michael Vick. So how can you make it one less? Well, what you can do is you can actually go to one of your contained defenders, and if they start to run the ball, this isn't as effective. So you can take one of your DNs. So now you're only containing one side. You can use, or say, this guy. If you think he's going to corner, or use the guy in halfback. I can now roll out. So at the snap of the ball, I'm Vick. I'm going to instantly see, oh, nobody's containing left. I'm rolling that way. He's going to track. I then click the right stick, and he comes after me. So this is a very pro-level tip. I've been doing this for a lot of years. This is actually how I ran my defense in Madden 16. I contain for the snap, but I put one of them on a QB spy. At the snap, he goes to the middle, so it's instantly a QB spy. Me as a Vick user, I go, wow, no contain left side. I'm free. Run, run, run. So go for it. But that's not how it works. He follows you. The problem is he will never break the line of scrimmage until you do. So he'll just stand there and stare at you. But if you're on defense, what you can do is you click down the right stick. Click it. Don't flick it. Click it. He will then run at Michael Vick and take him out. So that is what I recommend doing. Send your QB spy after the quarterback. It's a little bit more advanced. And look, you don't have to be on him. You don't have to be near him. You can be user in that safety way deep, the safety way up. All you have to do is kind of pay attention as your user and click it and go. Now, there's a couple things you don't want to do. What you definitely don't want to do is, here we go. We contain spy. Let's do that. You do not demonstrate. So this is like he'll just like stare at you. So now I can wait all day, wait all day, wait all day, wait all day. Eventually they might break down because it is Vick, but it's a bad proposition. So you don't want to just stand there and be so in depth with your user that forget to send the spy, right? Play will be going on 6 seconds. You're like, wow, nothing's happened. I'm still chasing this guy across the field. Gotta send the spy. You can't forget. Second thing you don't want to do is send the spy too early. So if I spy with the DN, I'll start to roll out with Vick, but I'm going to send the spy now. So I sent him, but Vick wasn't wide enough out of the pocket. So the spy got sent into a blocker. Once I see you send that spy, I know you got nobody left, and I know I can roll. So you don't want to send the spy too early, and you don't want to not send it at all. Right here, I click the right stick. You see 91 now come in, but since Vick's still kind of chilling, I know he's going to get blocked, and then I can scramble. That's kind of the second meta of playing a Michael Vick guy. The third thing is, like Jerry Rice on a post, Vick is dangerous because what he'll do is like, yes, you want to roll out, but you then want to kind of like be patient and then throw like back across the field. So not the most accurate QB in the world, but he's really good at throwing back across his body. So the tip for that would be don't let him roll left. So as much as you can, and you already showed you in my last video, my favorite defense from the 3-3-5 odd, what I like about it, this play, cover 3 sky, show 4, all that play because it's got a blitzer coming in off the left side. And remember, your defense will auto flip. So one thing you want to do is press B, go out to coach adjustments, which is in-game, it's in this menu, and then you might have to turn off your auto flip if you want Vick to always be blitzed from his left side, because otherwise that blitzer might line up on the right. So we'll call a balance set so that blitzer heads at it from the left side. So he's actually, he auto flipped to the right, so we would just flip it. But how you would do this is you either go into your settings or you go into your coach adjustments in the play call menu, set it to all. So now he's coming from the right. We're going to set up our defense like we normally set it up. We're going to use her here. And then I'm going to eventually pretty much run right into a blitz. Now, sharp is blocking, but we'll roll out. So now, boom. So that's exactly where you want to send the pressure from because you don't want me rolling out. The exact behavior you want with Vick consistently is this is why these blitzes were so good a couple years ago. He's actually still blitzing to that other gap because I blitzed it before I played. But anyway, you want Vick to do this. See that guy coming in and then roll like that and then have to be like playmaker and running, kind of scrambling. And you like, that's the animation you want. You want Vick rolling away from everything, taking on a lot of pressure, and ultimately going that way. So once again, plenty of zone coverage, more so than man. If you do man, though, you got to contain. You want to force them up the middle, preferably, rather than let them go to the outside. You want to use contains. You want to kind of trap them. Like, the whole contain and then getting rid of it is kind of like a trap. You want to get them to roll to the weak side. You don't want to give them a ton of time. What you don't want is like this. And he's playmaker, and he's chilling. Standing on the side of the field where he's dangerous. Like Vick, like getting right here and just standing for like 8 seconds as like people playmaker and people wait to get open is very dangerous. That is a good spot for him to be, where he can just kind of like roll out at the snap of the play, wait 5 seconds here, and then just kind of make a play. Obviously not scrambling quite that much, making that crazy of a throw, but that's where players are going to be good. They're going to drag players that have playmaker. They're going to do a bunch of that. Now, the last thing you can do, even if you don't spy a defender, the simple thing you can do is, we'll drop this guy back for right now. I can click the right stick, even if I don't have a spy, and I can get a defender to go after Vick. So two guys two guys actually went after Vick there for a second, and you can get a lot of turnovers that way. Look, the number one thing about Michael Vick Online is there's a lot of Michael Vick Online. That does not mean everybody is qualified to do Michael Vick. If you have a driver's license, you can drive a car. It doesn't mean you can run in a NASCAR heat. It doesn't mean you can drive an 18-wheeler. It just means you have your license to play and to be a quarterback. It doesn't mean that you're good at it. It doesn't mean that you can drive a Ferrari. Michael Vick is a Ferrari. He cranks. He runs. You need to be good with him. When I click the right stick, even though I didn't have a spy, this guy crashes down. Now, the one thing that happens sometimes is like the flat guy will run at him and then they just pop it over the top. But there's not a lot of yards there. You can then user it. You can then send a guy and then user it to where you know it's gonna crash. I've got a lot of highlights like that on the field, but this thing happens quite a bit. Kind of got to time it as you know things are crashing, but don't press it like twice because then sometimes multiple guys can go. That's one other thing I like to do, Michael Vick. So to recap it all, and once again, let me know if you like these styles of videos. Contain the edge, make him go up the middle, QB spy, and then ultimately, if you don't want to play all of that, make sure you blitz him from the left, make him roll to the right, don't let him stand out in the corner, and then you always have the ability to send somebody. And then if he does run, man, you got to get your pop in on him. And then the last piece is like, where I find scrambling with Vick actually really valuable, inside the 8-yard line, is where you're going to make a lot of good plays with Vick. Like, yeah, scrambling the open field's fine, but if people rely on it too much, then they can't pass and they stink. That happens to me every year. You rely on Vick too much. Where if you get him in the red zone and you save it till there, people aren't expecting it. So the red zone's a whole different thing. I'll talk about that in my next video, defending Vick in the red zone, defending mobile QBs in the red zone, just defending and scoring in the red zone as a whole are huge things, and you don't want to miss out on that because that's where people sneak in the Vick touchdowns. That is it for right now. If you have more questions or tips or tricks, or you don't understand any of the buttons I just used, make sure to leave the comment. If the meta is different or evolving, let me know, and we can break those questions down. So red zone next time, and until that time, lock up. Don't forget to follow the channel, subscribe, whatever. Next time.